Hello, I want to show you today how to set up a powerful GTP tool to help you provide useful and student-friendly feedback on academic work. This was the result of a conversation and initially some experimentation with a friend and colleague, Mark Holland. What we tend to do, Mark and myself, is record into Word or otherwise dictate into Word our feedback on a piece of work, whatever that happens to be, and then try and make that more student friendly, provide students with a particular format that might be useful. This GTP, following Mark's original GTP that focused on strengths and providing this in a student friendly language, and my subsequent modifications, this is what we've ended up with. I want to show you how to do it because I think it is useful, a useful use of AI. So let's take a look at how we might use it. So I've got some feedback that I've dictated that really isn't necessarily well structured or particularly in user-friendly language or student-friendly language. So let's take a look. So I'll paste this in. Now I need to give some additional information. So let's just hit the go. And it needs a bit more clarification. So it's asking me for some things. So I'm going to drag the assignment brief in. We do for dissertations use a particular format, but I'm going to leave that because that's very particular to what we do. So just to give you an idea of what this will do. So it now has hopefully all the things it needs. So I need to say it's 70%. That is a dissertation. Let's go. It initially provided an overall comment, which is one of the things I wanted to do. It comments on learning outcomes. It identifies the strengths, areas for development, and feed forward in its next steps. So it also provides some recommended resources where it links to our particular subject guide or referencing or academic writing. So what does this actually look like? Well, let's go and look at edit the GTP. So what we've got here is some particular things. I've called it a feedback assistant. You can obviously say what you wish it to be, generate student feedback. And then I've got some instructions. So structured input, we must provide things, that the user must provide, learning outcomes, unstructured marking notes. Grade will determine the appropriate calibration of the feedback. So I've got some later on, some what I want from that will give us the structure that I want it in. This can obviously be adjusted to different sort of formats. So I wanted learning outcomes, I wanted strengths, areas for development, next steps and recommended resources, and then particular tone guidelines. So I obviously want it in British English because I'm from the UK. Maintain the tone that's supportive but academic. Avoid praise or criticism to be specific evidence-based, so we're not just doing general things. We wanted to note where there's improvement from previous work if that was highlighted, and tone of calibration, so recognising particular things and trying to say that in a student-friendly way, but making sure it's directed appropriately at the grade boundaries. Ask questions if things like the notes that were given were unclear or more things are needed, so that it's relevant. We've got some other things where we've got some particular links to Newman resources, but these could be more wide if you wish to, and making some final comments about the tone, strengths of development, next steps are actionable, resources are linked to the issues, and learning outcomes appropriate. So this is, I'll put this in the chat, this underneath the video. This is easy enough that you can copy and use. There's some conversation starters which you can edit. So these might not be that useful, but the things where people can click on here, they basically turn out here, so you can change and do that. Now I've added some particular stuff myself, so I've got former dissertation feedback to give a flavour of it, and my PhD thesis, because I want it to write in the tone that I'm writing generally, but that can be changed and addressed to you. So hopefully you'll find this useful. I think it's been useful for me to be able to structure my work, the feedback appropriately to students, and hopefully be useful for you to be able to do the same type of thing.